Are you on, Andy? I woke up late, but physical and financial fitness with Patrick will begin here shortly. But I woke up late this morning, last minute. So, how you doing, Andy? Pleasure to see you, my man. Good morning, good morning. Yeah. So, we woke up a little bit late. My wife just popped me out of bed last minute. And she goes, "Hey, it's 6:30. I go, "Oh no." So, we're going to get back out there in the garage here just a second, but you guys get to see a part of my morning routine anyways. How you doing, Andy? Good to see you, buddy. Oops. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, yeah. Andy, are you on? Are you on there, buddy? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so sorry about that. I didn't hit my timing this morning properly. We're a little bit late. But that's okay, we're gonna get it done anyways. All right. Should be good to go. So, Andy, are you on there? Can you hear me? Don't know if you can hear me or not. So I was late, guys. Sorry. Let's see. Oh, what's up, Poncho? I'm just heading out to the dungeon as we speak. My wife just woke me up last minute and said, "Hey, it's 6:30," and I was like, "You were supposed to wake me up," and she's like, "I'm sorry." So we got a little bit late, but good to see you, Poncho. It's so dark in my house like right now, but give me 1 second, guys. I'm just heading out into the garage right now. It's got to be kind of quiet in the house because the whole family's sleeping. But, oh my goodness, my garage is just pitch black. Holy smokes. All right. Sorry, dudes. Yeah, there we go. Dang, that was rough. It is one of those mornings, man. I have my wife in charge of waking me up. And she says, "Don't worry, I'm going to wake you up." It didn't mean she woke me up on time. I usually get up at 6. I usually get up at 6, you know. Then I have some time to prep, get my body woke up and get everything ready. And be prepared for this, but not today. Not today, my friend. But it's all good. We adapt. We adapt. So, what we're going to do today, guys, which I thought would be kind of cool, is we're going to talk about, I have a golf tournament coming up this weekend, right? So I have this golf tournament coming up this weekend, which is a 2-day tournament. It is Saturday and Sunday, 2-day tournament. And I need to do some prep. As we did the other day when Dexter dropped by, we were doing the 90-pound curl and everything like that. When you're lifting heavy weight, and you're sore and things like that, it's really difficult to play good golf. So, golf, Dexter. I know. Sorry that my enjoyable hobby and sport that I like to play bores you to death. All right, so let's see. Blue speaker should be on now. All right, we're good. So I have a golf tournament, and you always want to try to be prepared. So kind of maybe a good theme for today, I thought, would be I'm going to be preparing for this golf tournament over the next 2 days, getting my body ready for the golf tournament. So you're not in powerlifting mode, ready to go try to play golf, right? It doesn't usually work out. I've been getting a little tight. Yeah, stretching, exactly. I've been getting a little tight because of the working out that we've been doing, and it doesn't work out for golf. So we're going to do that today. So Bethany says it. Ha ha, golf, 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 golf. Yeah, but the thing is, see what I did, I thought was kind of smart is I got my wife I got my wife to be addicted to golf as well. I made Bethany a golfer. And since I made Bethany a golfer, she gets it, if you know what I'm saying. She gets it. All right, let's see if I can get this thing working here. So what we're going to do today... Okay, whatever. I don't need that. Oh, yeah. Okay, maybe we'll bring this up. But so, guys, I thought what we could do today would be kind of cool. The key to getting your body ready to play in a competitive golf tournament is preparation. I know Pancho was on here saying a bunch of stretching, stuff like that. Yeah, stretching is definitely a huge part of it. So I figure what we do today is we combine the two, because when we're here in my live, we're obviously talking about physical and financial fitness. However we can get ourselves in our best shape physically, our best shape financially. And so today we got like a little bit of a twofold, right? So today I'm going to be doing some exercises that are specifically golf related. As a matter of fact, today and tomorrow, that are more stretching and rotation related and things like that. And so we're going to get prepared for playing in a golf tournament. We're also going to talk about how mortgage note investing is an asset class that rewards preparation. I thought it would go hand in hand. How you like that? How do you like that? So that's what we're going to do today, y'all. And I have kind of an interesting workout that I've never done before, so we're going to give it a shot. But we just got out here. We running late today. Wifey's in charge of waking me up this morning, and she decided not to wake me up. She said her alarm didn't go off or something happened, so this is how it goes. But good morning. Who do we have on here? I know we've got Pancho, we've got Dexter. I think probably Andy's probably on here. So good morning, y'all. Good morning. Sorry it took me a minute to get set up, but we woke up late. Woke up late today. Last minute, right? Bethany goes, "It's 6:30 right now." And I'm like, "Oh, great." I was still all warm and cozy in the bed, so sorry about that for those of you who are very timely. But I don't think that it matters. If I come here at 6:30 or 6:40, did it matter? I know one person was waiting. That was probably Andy. But I don't think I was keeping people waiting, was I? All right. Couple sips of coffee. First couple sips of coffee got you kicking. Key thing, we woke up. Well, so did I, man. So did I, Dexter. Dexter, Dexter, are you in a mood today? Are you okay? Is your arm still sore from the 95-pound curl? That's too funny. Oh, man. That was hard, though, right? 95-pound curl ain't no joke. How many of you guys give Dexter a whole boatload of credit for coming over here to my Dungeon Garage Gym and live on YouTube attempting cold without warming up or anything like that, a 95-pound curl? And did anybody try it since then? Oh my gosh. That 95-pound curl is really no joke, dude. Actually not. You do feel it though? Okay, good. Yeah. Thank God. Yeah, if you would have been able to pump out a couple reps of it, you'd probably be feeling a little bit more sore, but he almost had it, dude. Andy said I did a 9.5-pound curl. I love it. It's too funny, man. All right. So what we got to do is get this thing out of the way for sure. Because we're not going to need the bench much today, I don't think anyways, but we'll see. Oh, those cat-cow presses. Extremely exaggerated cat-cow presses. And then we have, the world's greatest stretch. I hate that one, but it feels so good on your back. So, yeah, today, guys, we're going to talk about why, as I prepare over the next 2 days, as I get my body prepared to play in this golf tournament, we're going to talk about why mortgage note investing rewards the prepared investor. So the preparation is the key, both in getting ready to play into a real competitive golf tournament. You got to prepare your body to be ready, where your body's not tired, not sore, not tight, but yet your body is loose and feels explosive and energetic, and you got to get your body there. And so you do have to do some preparation if you do want to be a competitive golfer. And of course, the same happens to do with notes, guys, with mortgage notes. Mortgage notes really is an investing class that rewards preparation. And so let's talk about that a little bit today, all right? While we get into this stretching exercise. But hang on one second. You got to give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. 1 second, guys. Come on. All right. Oh, shoot. Excuse me. All right, we're back. My bad. Do this and my camera will follow me again, I believe. There you go. Bingo. So, excuse me. Dexter, you know what's up. Let's talk about it a little bit, guys. What do you think? Why do you think notes is an asset class that rewards preparation? Why do you think I'm saying that? Do you guys ever remember watching the cartoon G.I. Joe? Did anybody ever watch G.I. Joe back then? Excuse me. Did anybody ever watch G.I. Joe, the cartoon? Yay or nay? Let me take this off here. All right. You see how much stuff I set up in the morning, guys, before I get started. I usually got to get all this stuff all ready. So we woke up late today. You guys had to be a part of all my fumbling around with tripods and turning computers on and all this other stupid stuff. But at the end of the day, I do it all for you. All right, so understanding the property the mortgage note is attached to. Yes. I don't know what that means. Bubba, I got. What's FRWT? Dex, I don't know what you mean by that. But why do you think why am I saying mortgage note investing rewards preparation? Just like I'm going to be preparing to play in this golf tournament this weekend. So we change up our workout. Excuse me. Gosh dang. We change up our workout. As Pancho said, it's probably more stretching related than it is heavy weightlifting related, which is the truth. But you change things up. You got to do things differently. And you got to really kind of prepare ahead of time if you want to play very well in a golf tournament, especially if you are already a weightlifter. So if I'm in the gym 5 days a week, I'm lifting weights, I got Dexter coming over, we're doing 8 reps of the 95-pound curl, we're doing all this stuff. What happens is, of course, you get sore. Some muscles can get pretty tight. And soreness and tightness when you're playing golf, when you're supposed to have a very rhythmic swing and your body's supposed to be loose and fluid, flexible, it's very difficult to go out there and play your best golf when you are sore and when you are tight. So preparing, getting in your stretching, your core stretches, and some different type of explosive with core rotation, explosion is good. I wish I was playing at the Players, man. Always a dream of mine. I have played the 17th hole, though, at Sawgrass, the Island Green hole. I have played that in real life and got a 7 on it. So I hit my first ball in the water. We had to go to the drop zone. Let's see. Hit my first ball in the water. Went to the drop zone. Hit my drop ball into the water. Dropped again. Hit it on the green and made the putt. That was, yeah, it's a tougher hole than it seems. It's a very short hole. And by the way, I saw 2 like 14-year-old kids come right up and then whack their ball right onto the green within 10 feet. One made birdie, one made par. They were like 10-year-old kids. They went by with their dad. Obviously locals, right? Dad's a member at that course. And I'm like, come on, man. But what a frustrating hole. Boy, what has it got to be? How's it got to be a professional golfer and be, somewhere near the lead of the tournament and coming into hole 17 and hole 18 on that golf course? Give me a break. Your little cojones got to shrink right up inside you. But why are we talking about notes being really good for people who are prepared? Okay, let's talk about that. Right? What is I'm going to warm up and these are some interesting moves for a guy like me, I must admit. But if we're stretching out our spine and our low back as much as possible and give that a stretch, and what I like to do is I like to come all the way up to here, walk my hands in, and just sort of stretch out my back and walk down here and stretch out my back this way. So it's kind of like a hand walking modified, what they call cat-cow in like yoga, right? So in yoga, you guys have all seen this one where some of the hot gals, you don't mind watching when they do this one. Maybe if you get behind some dude, you probably don't want to watch like me. But maybe there's cute gal like my wife might do some like yoga move like this, and this is the one the guys always go woo, right? But point of the matter is it's kind of goofy to do, but the cat, right? Cat, like when a cat goes like, so cat is like stretching your back like this, rounded up to the wall. And then cow, they bend the back like that, right? Like the shape of how a cow looks. But you go cat, cow, like that, right? Now, that one there for me, I don't know about you guys, but that one there for me, I'm not too... Yeah, exactly. I'm not too keen on doing that one. You guys get it? You see why, Dex? Yeah, Dexter loves that cat-cow pose, right? But, of course, the right lady like my lady, yeah, the udders hang down. The udders hang down. But the cat-cow, you guys have seen that before. I know you have. But the reason I don't do that, you guys can guess. Can you guys guess why I maybe don't like doing the cat-cow stretch for my lower back and why I kind of modified it a little bit? All right, anyways, that's a funny one. But not when you do it, though. I know, yeah, you better not like it when I do it, Dexter. I'm going to think a lot differently of you, bro, after all this time. No, it's all good. But so what I like to do is I straighten my legs out and I try to just walk my hands back to my hips, get my chin up, and stretch my back out as much as possible. And then right from there, what I do is I get up into this position and walk my hands back and get into almost a toe touch position. And then I just walk it forward like this and then get back up in that arch. But you don't have to do too many of them, guys. It's just one of these things that you're trying to get your stuff loosened up, especially when you just hopped out of bed late, right? Trying to get loosened up here and get that back ready for what it's about to be put through. Yeah, my knee is thrashed, but it's not that bad. Like what happens, Pancho, is if I do like a lot of impact exercises. So, when I go play pickleball, afterwards my knee is thrashed. And when I walk 18 holes of golf, which I try to do once or twice a week. But when I walk 18 holes, when I go play pickleball, those kinds of things, my knee, it gets really thrashed. So just stretch the back out a little bit. And then I don't know if you guys have seen what they call the world greatest stretch. The world greatest stretch is also not as compromising as far as the positions you're in, but it sure does work, man, for stretching the back out immensely, yeah? So the world's greatest stretch. And guys, you're just along with me right now because we're doing a warm-up. What do you think when we talk about golf tournaments, rewarding preparation, when we talk about note investing as being a note investor in that category, note investing rewards preparation. I'm warming up right now, right? So I'm just warming up and I'm getting my stretching in to get prepared for this little golf stretch and workout session. Totally golf related. So I'm just warming up right now. What do you guys think we can correlate this with when it comes to being a professional note investor and buying the paper side of the real estate, not the physical side of real estate? So if they're different, right? I'm not preparing for a basketball tournament here, guys. It's golf. Golf's a lot different than basketball. So you're saying, how do we, if note investing rewards preparation, what's the warm-up? What's the warm-up, right? Let's really go through it like this because I like to teach investing for dummies. You know why? Because, guys, I'm not a Harvard-educated scholar. So anything that can be taught to me in the booklet, it was like computer programming for dummies or anything like that. I like investing for dummies. Give it to me that way straight, right? I can figure out the rest from there. But if we're talking about warming up, in order to even get involved into a golf workout, right? We want to warm up first and stretch our back and get prepared. Note investing rewards preparation. So what are we comparing to here in the note investing space in your warm up? What would be considered you warming up in note investing? When we do some crazy stretch they call the greatest stretch in the world, where you put one leg out here, you put one leg back straight, you take the opposite hand, you put it here, and you stretch this up like this. And what you're going to get on this stretch, guys, is really cool. But you get a lot of stretching back here in your hamstring, and you get stretch in this glute, and certainly your lower back. But what you're doing with this stretch is opposite sides, right? So, like so. Putting this leg forward, this shoulder and arm forward down by my foot, putting this leg out straight like that, and then stretching this hand way up to the sky and just trying to hold it there for a little bit, right? You guys have probably seen this in a yoga class or what have you. They call it the greatest stretch in the world because it does stretch out your lower back. It does stretch out your chest and your abdomen, your core. You can also feel that stretch coming from that back leg and the glute. But this would be warming up, right? Warming up for a golf preparation workout, a workout that's supposed to be designed to help you prep to be more explosive in a golf tournament. So what are we correlating this with, guys? What do you think is warming up as far as professional note investing is concerned? What is the warm up I'm talking about? Put a guess in there. What's warming up? Warming up to get ready to be a pro note investor. Do you guys think it's the coaching, the training, the reading, the studying, the Q&A sessions? I do. That's what I think it's all about, right? So when I first started and I was getting warmed up for, when I was getting warmed up to become a note investor, okay? I was getting warmed up and prepared to become a note investor. So I warmed up for about 6 to 8 months prior to getting into now what's been a 7 year run in note investing. But what was I doing when I was getting first started? When I got first started, you got to get warmed up and stretched out before you even start the workout. So you're doing simple things that to most people, for instance, I do physical and financial fitness with Patrick here, right, guys? But usually we're lifting weights. Usually we're using the pulley machine. Dexter's over here doing a 95-pound curl with an Olympic bar, doing all this stuff. And, people who are weightlifters would maybe come on this show today and be like, what is this guy doing? I thought he was a weightlifter guy. Because it doesn't seem like these movements that I'm doing, which is keeping your spine angle, okay, at 45 degrees, not coming up like this, and changing your spine angle, and not coming down like this, and changing your spine angle, but keeping your spine angle in a good golf posture there, flat backed and at 45 degrees, and I'm trying to turn where this doesn't get up like this or down like this or any of those things that would mess up a golf swing. If you swing like this in golf, you're going to hook it. If you swing like this in golf, you're going to slice it. If you swing like this in golf, you're going to hit the ball straight down the fairway. So I'm trying to keep that wood at a 45-degree angle, keep my spine angle there, and just do twists like this, back and forth. It's not much when you're talking about a bodybuilder or somebody lifting heavy weights. Somebody would come on here and go, what is this nutcase doing? So the beginning is preparation and warming up to become, okay? So this is preparation and warming up to get into a golf workout, okay? So what is the preparation and warming up for us before we get into note investing? Andy said, properly educating yourself. You got to learn how to do it. There you go, guys. It's simple. And you know what? That phase never looks sexy or exciting to anybody. And you know what? Like to me right now, this doesn't feel, sexy and exciting when I'm on here in a physical fitness workout show, but I'm just doing these little shoulder turns, which for most people seem really futile. But of course, there is a reason why I'm doing these, and it's muscle memory, and also expands or stretches out your spine, your shoulders, all sorts of different things. And so you're getting a good stretch, but you're also trying to hone in. You're trying to hone in the basics. Trying to hone in the basics, guys. That's funny. Your doggy did a oopsie in the neighbor's yard this morning. Well, got to pick those things up. All right. But, hey guys, what is warm up and preparation for being a good dog walker? Well, warm up and preparation for being a good dog walker. What is it, guys? You get all your basics in play. You get your dog leash. You got to have the right dog leash. You got to have your right dog collar. Make sure it's secured to the dog right. You got to maybe bring a flashlight if you're walking your dog in the dark. You got to bring these little bags. You guys know the little bags I'm talking about, don't you? You know the little bags come on a roll and roll it out and go whoop, smack off a bag right there. You know what those bags are for. So guys, even to just go on a dog walk, you have, even though now it's subliminally brainless, but you do have preparation, don't you? So it's all about preparation, guys, and note investing, rewarding the prepared. You're saying that when you're doing basic shit, like I'm in here just doing these rotations. For me, I'm trying to keep this stick and my spine angle at a 45 degrees, not change the angle of it, and I'm trying to get that stick to stay at that angle. And that's really what I'm doing. So to some people, it might look like I'm just going, la, 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 la. Okay, I get it. But I'm doing this, it's a purposeful for me. I'm trying to hit certain angles, certain spaces. So in a golf swing, boom, in a golf swing, you're really launching the right shoulder forward. So in note investing, Andy's right on it, which is the slow and methodical and boring and not sexy and seemingly futile area of when you are getting your education, you're building the foundation, you're preparing to become a note investor, okay? And so what is it that we need to know before we get into this? What is it that we need to know? I call it the 3 Ps, okay?
We've all heard of the terrible T's. The reason why we get into mortgage note investing and we buy the paper rather than the property is because we avoid those terrible T's, right? When they talk about the terrible T's of landlording, what are we speaking about? We're talking about chasing tenants and rent, right? Having bad tenants is always a real hassle. So you got those bad tenants sometimes that you end up having to deal with. You chase the rent from them and all that stuff. So tenants, right? Tenants. Deal with tenants as a landlord. Trash outs, right? Trash outs. Termites, like, in San Diego, California, we have pretty gnarly termites. And so the wood fascia boards and things like this just get eaten up over time. The houses dilapidate. So I call it termites, but you get that that's like exterior maintenance as a whole. But you got tenants, you got termites, you got toilets, right? The terrible T's and all that, right? Toilets, because you're a landlord, you get the phone call. Like, we stuffed up our toilet again. It's overflowing. The bathroom's flooding. Help. And you're the landlord, and you're going to have to get a plumber out there and blah, blah, blah. So you get it, right? So in landlording, we got the terrible T's. So we get into note investing. And note investing, in order to have really good preparation, maybe not the sexy preparation that we're talking about, but we need that education. The education is getting loosened up. The education is getting ready. The education is getting the body or the mind used to what it is you're doing, getting ready for the workout. And here you go. You got your education. So how you guys get educated is up to you. Books, podcasts, Google, ChatGPT, YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. What's up? These are ways that people can learn. Okay. So there's all sort of ways people learn. Some people choose to get, like in my case, some people would choose to get a golf instructor. So, question I have for you guys. I was just thinking about this the other day because I'm a 23 sport athlete and I used to play 2 sports professionally. Say I'm pretty athletic, pretty hand-eye coordinated guy to say the least. But golf's a different beast. Question is, guys, what sport, let me ask you this. What was your favorite sport you played when you were a younger gent or gal, if there's any gals on here, but when you were a younger gentleman, what was the sport you played? Was it soccer? Was it football? Was it baseball? What was your sport back when you were young? Chime it in. Curious to know, because I do have a point to this, promise you that. But, what sport did we play? I played too many to list, but what was your sport when you were young? Put it in the chat. I'm curious to know. Did you play baseball, football, soccer? What was it? What was your sport that you played? Chime that in because I do have a point and we're going to roll with this, but I'm curious to know what sport you played. Cheerleader. And Dexter, you know what? I wouldn't put that past you because you still are some people's favorite cheerleader. And I love you for that, dude. But Dex, no, I know that your stuff wouldn't fit into like a cheerleader's outfit, bro. Get real. But let's face it, guys. Whatever sport we played, and I can take it back to football, I can take it back to baseball, I can take it back to wrestling, springboard diving, track, you name it. Do you think there was any sport that I excelled at in a competitive level where I did not have a coach? That's the question. Was I trying to learn how to be a better springboard diver? Or was I trying to learn how to be a better pole vaulter on the track team? Was I trying to better learn how to play varsity soccer and shoot and do passing and scoring skills in soccer? Was I doing all that by reading a book or watching a podcast about soccer or Googling how to kick the ball best to hit the best shot? And you guys get what I'm saying here is that, yeah, I mean, you can learn that way. But we know damn well, even Tiger Woods, the best golfer that's existed, right? Tiger Woods always had a golf coach. There was a little time in his career where he did not, and he did not like that. He regretted it a little bit, actually, at the end of the day. But even the best of the best need a coach. You need somebody who's a third party looking at you, right? If I have you guys looking at me from there, and I can't see myself in the mirror of the camera, if you guys are looking at me from there and you're a coach, and I'm trying to get this to stay on plane and stay on that matching line, right, as it goes through. If I'm trying to get that to stay on a matching plane, if you're watching me, guys, from a third party, it may feel to me like I'm getting this thing perfect on a 45-degree angle and meeting in the right place every time. It may feel like that to me. But a coach from over there may say, dude, you're like this, right? Every time you do it, you're coming over. sometimes it doesn't feel, sometimes it feels right to you or to us, but we need a third party coach, right? So anyways, guys, that would be considered sort of the warm up. Okay. So in warming up to be a note investor, you're right, Andy. It does have to do with the slow, monotonous, boring part. Like, as I said, this workout today may seem quite boring to some people that come on here and see me lifting heavy weights and doing bench presses and all this great stuff generally. But if I do the same type of workout that I normally do in the 2 days leading up to a golf tournament, I promise that my body won't be prepared to play the best golf. And if you guys, like I did, if you're not getting like a formal education and you don't have a coach like helping you with this stuff, in the boring stages of when you're trying to learn the language, you're trying to learn the legalities, you're trying to learn all this stuff. Tom Brady had a personal coach and became the greatest of all times. So you get it, right, guys? Let's see, I'm not going to use that much weight. So you get it. All right, so I'm still kind of in warm-up phase here, and we're going to do a couple of these kind of thoracic cable rotations here. Do some of these like thoracic cable rotations here, and you'll see why maybe these might be a fair exercise if you're warming up to play good golf. So you agree? Do you agree? The best of the best, from Tiger Woods to Tom Brady, and all these people have coaches, right? So when you have a coach, you have somebody that is a third party that is able to see you and notice things that you can't notice. Somebody that maybe has been there before at a very high level, understands the rules of the game, understands how to play it, understands how to avoid fumbles, understands the playbook, and you're able to get in there and study from somebody and have somebody looking over your shoulder. A coach like Tiger Woods' swing coach, like Tom Brady's football coach, right? These people have personal coaches. So why wouldn't we, as adults, why are we above this anyways these days? People are all about, oh, we're against all these gurus, and I get it that people have coaching course PTSD, because as people found that you could make money selling people courses, what did that do? That got a whole lot of people in the selling courses game that were making their money selling courses, right? The courses that they were selling, maybe on house flipping, maybe they only flipped one house, right? Maybe they like flipped one house or something, and now they're teaching a course on it. So this gave people coaching PTSD. It's understandable. But do you know, and this, I guess, is a question for Dexter, because you were up in here, Dex, talking about coaches and Tom Brady. Do you know how many golf coaches Tiger Woods went through in his career? Right? So just because maybe you joined a coach or a coaching program 5 or 6 years ago, you felt like you got ripped off, you felt like you were spending tons of money on the wrong thing and it didn't work out for you, and then now we say, well, then therefore I'm never going to get a coach again. These coaching and these gurus, these are all overrated. Well, Tiger Woods himself went through a couple of different golf coaches. And my question is, how many? Yeah, that is Michael. Yeah, this is a pretty cool little mic, actually. I used to have the Rode one. You guys have seen the Rode microphones. They're like square and they're big and they like clip on. So I had those. And I saw some sort of influencer that I follow on YouTube and Instagram who had this little thing. Look at that. It's like about as big as a quarter, just about. It's pretty thin. And this little magnet that it has on the back is pretty damn strong. It'll even go through a ball cap like that. So, yeah, kind of cool. Yeah, and they're not that expensive. I mean, like $100 bucks, $150 or whatever, depends on what set you need. But it is really cool, you know, if you flap this little mic onto your shirt like so. See? And it just doesn't take up a lot of space. It doesn't, you know, bog you down, and it doesn't weigh your shirt down. It's pretty light. So yeah, this is a great little wireless mic setup. Pretty cool. Yeah, it does come in really good. I'm surprised with the sound. This is what it looks like, actually, if you want to see it. It comes in like this little case. Comes in this little case like this. Pretty small. Oops. Pretty small. Comes in this little case. Flips open, and you have the mics and then the little phone attachment that hooks to your phone. And it's got dual mics. So next time I have Dexter over here, we're going to put this mic on Dexter so he can be a part of the show. Okay, Dex? So this microphone right here, Dexter, it's waiting for you, buddy. You come over here and we're going to stick it on you and we can both be heard. But yeah, pretty cool little microphone system, guys. Not bad, right? Let's see, 2 sets, 15 each side. So we're going to do 2 more sets of this. And this isn't the exciting workout, guys, is it? Because we're preparing for a golf tournament. I have a 2-day golf tournament, Saturday and Sunday, 2-day tournament this weekend. And we don't want to be tight. We don't want to be sore. And we don't want to be coming in feeling unconfident into the golf tournament. So what we're doing today, guys, there's resistance on this cable, right? Okay. And obviously what I'm trying to do, and I like to put my hands together like this, one on top of another. What I'm trying to do is pull this out. And just standing here, you're feeling the weight want to pull you that direction, right? So when you're just standing here holding this in front of you like this, you're having a lot of strength on your core, your hips, your glutes, as if you would when you're loaded up in a golf swing, ready to launch and hit the golf swing, right? When you're loaded up in a golf swing, you're ready to hit the golf ball. So I'm coming in here and I'm putting the stress on my body and I'm holding it with my core and then going from there to explode like that way. So it doesn't really look like much, guys. It doesn't really look like much, but you are prepping to be a good player in a golf tournament, right? You're not prepping to go into a bodybuilding contest with these kinds of exercises. There's a different purpose to it. So notes are different. Notes are different. Notes aren't the same as real estate, just like golf ain't the same as baseball, even though you're swinging a club or a bat, okay? So my thing is, for this little warm-up routine I'm doing, that we would talk about understanding there is warming up. There's warming up and there is proper preparation to getting into an industry, note investing, in which rewards preparation, okay? Yeah, and people are told you can learn everything by going on YouTube. Here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. The only problem with YouTube, okay? And now I know more than ever. And we can joke about it a little bit back and forth because I'm the one putting myself out here on YouTube. No, I didn't get golfer's elbow, Michael, but it was like, so golfer's elbow can happen in the back of the elbow. And what you're doing is you're extending your elbow quite a bit and you are turning it at the same time, right? So you get a lot of this, and a lot of people get this golfer's elbow. What I do, because I do sometimes front curls where I put my hands on top of the bar and I do front curls like this, and then I do curls like this, but these will really work out the top of your forearms here. And so my golfer's elbow is like right in here on the top of my arm. And it's more so associated with doing heavier weightlifting and then also trying to play golf two days a week. I'm doing counterintuitive things. Heavy weightlifting and bodybuilding doesn't quite go good with golfing. You know, Tiger Woods got pretty yoked, but also Tiger Woods had a chef and a personal stretching, a person that was doing stretching with him every day and massages and all this other stuff. I don't have all that. He had 4. Thank you, Andy. He had 4. Butch Harmon, Sean, I forget what Sean's last name is, Hank Haney, and Chris so-and-so. I don't know who Chris was either. But Tiger Woods had 4 coaches, guys. So I just want to make a point to people that, if you got into some coaching program about wholesaling, flipping tax liens or some bullshit, and you realize that the guru or the person selling the course wasn't all chalked up what they were chalked up to be, and maybe you spent time and you spent effort. You don't think Tiger Woods spent lots of time and lots of effort, which each one of those coaches? He had 4 coaches. So why would Tiger change coaches? Why would Tiger fire a coach and then hire a new one? How come Tiger wouldn't just have that mentality that we have, where you'd say, yeah, well, I tried getting a coach. It just wasn't working out great. I spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy, and I never got anywhere. Matter of fact, made my golf swing worse. He said, I got to get rid of this coach, and I got to hire a better one. We always say, oh man, that coaching program sucked and we got ripped off, so therefore coaching is bad. All coaches are bad. All coaching programs are ripoffs. This is not the truth. So my thing is, be like Tiger, be like Tom Brady and this guy's, and get yourself a good coach. And if the first coach you had was bullshit and you wasted a little time, you wasted a little money, you wasted a little energy, tell you what, you always learn something. through those experiences. But I think getting a great coach and having a third party look at you and be there to take you through the things and yeah, a little bit of tendonitis is what it is, Michael. I know. Yeah, because he wasn't progressing. So how many people do you know that get into some type of real estate investing endeavor and they go about, oh, I'm going to learn it myself. I don't need no coach. Coaches, gurus, paid programs, those are all just for guys buying Lamborghinis and all. They have like coaching PTSD, right? Or something wrong with their ego. And certainly Tiger Woods was far better golfer. Guys, understand this. Tiger Woods was a far better golfer than his coaches were. So Tiger Woods could go out and kick the shit out of his coaches in playing a round of golf, but the coaches knew how to get Tiger Woods better. Get that, right? So this ego needs to be dropped, and we need to get out there and get this education. That's the warm up. So here's the 6 things I think people need the most education on, and then we're going to get down to this actual workout now that we're warmed up, okay? So here's the things you got to learn, okay? Number 1 is the fundamentals, because in the fundamentals, what I like to call the fundamentals of note investing, there's going to be language, words, simply abbreviations, language and words that are used in the debt investing business, in the mortgage business, that's different than most other businesses. So we've got to understand just simple things. So anyways, guys, we talk about the basics, we talk about the fundamentals. Basics and fundamentals are in stages in golf, right? So the basics and fundamentals of golf is your posture, how you stand, your grip, how you're actually holding your hands on the club, your grip, your posture, your aim, your lineup. All these things have to be in place before you even make a golf swing. Before you perform the athletic activity and try to whack a ball, you got to make sure you're lined up properly, your posture's in place properly, your grip is on the club properly, and these kinds of things. So don't you think you have to know the language, the definitions, the terminology, the playbook, basically? You have to know how to stand and hold the damn thing before you swing it, okay? So same thing with notes. And in the note investing world, the fundamentals is obviously a good foundation to start with. But then we have to learn due diligence. Due diligence is half the battle in note investing. So you got the fundamentals, you got due diligence. Then once you've actually learned how to do due diligence, you have to know how to acquire an asset, don't you? So you have to have the fundamentals down, you have to have due diligence down, you have acquisition, which is how to acquire a note. You got this so far? Okay. You have to have asset management, because once you own a note, no, due diligence is not the warm-up, man. Due diligence is half the battle. Due diligence is almost like, the golf swing itself. Due diligence is extraordinarily important in notes, but you got the fundamentals, okay? You got due diligence, because you have to know how to find the right note to buy, okay? You have to have acquisition knowledge of the documentation, the legalities, the paperwork, everything needs to be papered up properly. So acquisition is huge. How about, the part of the acquisition, which is just negotiating with a note seller, knowing what offer to make, how to grade the note, and all that stuff, which comes from your due diligence, right? So you got fundamentals, you got due diligence, you got acquisition, you have asset management, because once you buy a note, you have to know how to work with a loan servicer, and you have to know how to, manage what needs to be managed in a note. Keep an eye on the property taxes, keep an eye on these kinds of things, and you have to have a system in place for that. So then you have your asset management, you have exit strategies, right, guys? So how are you going to know where to run on the football field if you haven't studied the whole playbook? So in the whole playbook, we have to understand all of the things that can happen in exits with notes, and we have to be prepared and knowledgeable about all that, okay? And then disposition. So how about actual exit? Do you know how to sell a note? Do you know where to sell a note? Do you know how to price a note? Do you know how to package a note for sale if you're going to sell it to somebody? And then, of course, what paperwork do you need in that aspect if you're going to sell a note to somebody else, right? And all of that has to do with flipping notes and wholesaling notes and buying notes and holding notes and all this stuff, guys, performing, non-performing. So we understand that, guys, that it's very important to have those 6 foundational education pieces covered. And it's very difficult to know all the foundational information about notes, how to perform due diligence at a high level, how to acquire these things, how to do all this, the documentation off a YouTube channel. Fair enough, right? So I think that in this industry, it is very good to have a coach. And I'm living proof that having a coach can 10x the speed in which you can be a professional investor. Okay. You can start to create passive cash flow. All of you guys know I bought my very first note in February of 2019. And at the end of 2021, I was pretty much earning about a financial freedom point where my passive cash flow for my portfolio was paying for my bills. And I live in San Diego, California. I ain't got like little bills. Oh, Michael, thank you, man. Michael said, just looked up my channel. He hopes I blow up. I explain things really well. I appreciate that, man. You know, my goal is never to, and so y'all know, right? And most of you on here know me. There's only a very small audience on here today. I appreciate Michael being on, but you guys know that I ain't doing this for fame. If I was doing this for fame, I would not be down here in my dirty ass dungeon garage gym. I'd probably be at a nice gym with the beautiful lighting and the Cybex equipment, you know, being a fitness influencer guy. And you know damn well I'm not trying to be some, you know, Wall Street brat with a suit on trying to tell you guys all this garbage I learned in some college investment class either, because then I'd be in my office with my studio lighting and my suit on. I really come here to get real with people. And if people get value out of what I bring, and if I can help people change their lives and all that good stuff, then good for them. I'm not really looking for any fame or fortune from this at all. In fact, what it was, Michael, is I was coming down here for a long time. I got on this fitness kick because I was really fat and out of shape and I had bad habits and I was really unhappy with myself physically. So I decided to change that up. And when I changed that up, I started working out right here in my home gym every morning on command, 5 days a week. And for about a year and a half straight, guys, I listened to other people and I got nuggets. So I'd put my headphones on out here in the garage. I'd put on my YouTube, my podcast stuff, my whatever I wanted to study as far as financial investment was concerned. United States economy, fiat currency, cryptocurrency, you know, things that I want more education on, right? That I want to soak up more on. So I was down here doing my workout in the gym every morning and I would listen to other people's content. And about a month or two ago, I wanted to switch it up. I said, you know what? I'm coming down here in my garage gym anyways, and I'm always consistent, at least trying to be consistent for myself, right? To be in the best shape I can be in. And so why don't I just get a Bluetooth speaker and put my phone up and I'll talk to some people about what it is that I do. And yeah, accountability. Yes, accountability is key. So, you know, if I have people that are waiting to hear from me on these shows in the morning, it does motivate me too, where if I don't really feel like getting out of bed or I don't feel like working out or I'm sore or I'm sick or something like that, I go, no, there's some people that I can give some value to on the YouTube. So it motivates me and I hope to motivate you guys. But I thank you for that, Michael. Kind words. Kind words. I appreciate that. All right. So no more sitting around. So we got a little bit of break. We got the back stretched out. We got the back muscles, the glutes activated. So now we can do a golf-centric workout. It is crazy to put yourself out there, man. You know, it's fun too. We get, you'll know if you ask Andy and some of my regulars, Andy and some of the regulars will tell you we sure do get some, we sure do get some trolls and some haters on here. There ain't no doubt about that. But I'm not worried about those people, guys. You know, usually the people that are trolling and hating don't have nothing going for their lives, usually. I'm not saying that to be mean or anything. I'm just honestly saying that. If you're so busy working on you and your family and your health and your business and your wealth, and you're so busy working on you, trust me, you just don't have time, nor does it feel good to go out there and try to bark at people that are also trying to do good, right? You get into a point where when you're in abundance mindset, once you transfer to abundance mindset and you get out of this hater, negative, the world's against me kind of mindset. Once you get into an abundance mindset, guys, then you do flip to wanting other people to win, okay? Really win. What makes a really good teacher happy, guys, in any industry, what makes a really good teacher happy is to see a student surpass the teacher. That's not about ego. Yes, Michael, that is a great statement, right? That hard times create hard men. Hard men create easy times. Those easy times create weak men, and then weak men again create hard times. Yes, it's this cycle. It is this cycle. So what we got here, guys, we got to do some body weight jump squats real quick with the 8s, and so we're going to get really the body going and activated. So let's talk about it, guys. Let's say we got our warm-up done. We got our stretching done. That means you guys probably got into my community or someone else's community. You got to put a little time, a little money, a little energy, right? Golf coaches aren't free. I know the golf coach at our club charges like $200 an hour, $225 an hour, guys, to go there and get golf instruction. So this whole I don't pay for coaches and I don't pay for instruction thing is just for people that are, you know, negatively jaded, usually. The people that do respect investing in themselves and understanding the speed of value of having a mentor on your side is different ballgame, right? Now you're like Tiger Woods. You might go through 4 coaches, but you're always going to try to look for that right coach that's going to help you get to your highest level, right? So then you got your warm-ups done. And that's good. Now you're ready to go play the game, okay? So playing the game for me today, guys, is that we're going to be doing some golf eccentric workouts. And these are just jumping. Someone just called me. People should know better than to call me on my phone at this time. Isn't that right? But these guys, obviously simple. These are 8 pounds. So I got little 8-pound dumbbells here. Really nothing as far as weight is concerned. But what I'm doing is coming to my shoulders, and I want to explode up like this. But when I explode them up like this, I want to use my legs and everything like that. So we're going to get into actually some workouts here that are golf related. This is about explosion. So we want to explode into note investing right off the bat. We've got our warm-up done. And when you take a golf club back to the top, you'll see Rory McIlroy and some of the longest hitters in the world. They're using their legs on the ground, like throwing a football, throwing a baseball, okay? Doing a golf swing. So what happens is, guys, they'll use the ground and they get down into the ground and use a squat and push up and explode. That's how we get a good drive. And so these kind of exercises like this are just teaching your body, timing-wise, to explode from the ground up. Jump squats with dumbbells. So you're just getting the timing. It's about timing these exercises like this, guys. So when we start to really work out in the note space, okay, maybe we get a coach. Maybe we get the education, the fundamentals, the language, the terminology, the legalities, the paperwork, and all that garbage got to be out of the way. When we get that out of the way, now we're ready to play. Just like I'm going to be getting a little bit more out of breath because we're going to do some exercises. And when you can't breathe and you're doing any simple exercises and you're talking the whole time, go try to jog, right? Anybody ever been on a run? Just a simple jog with a friend and you're having a full conversation? It's difficult to breathe and exercise as you speak at the same time. So you'll notice I'll get a little bit out of breath in here because these are not just simple stretches. These jump squats actually get the whole body going, okay? So how do we get your note investment business going? Get it warmed up, get it stretched out. Thank you, Michael. Oh, you got to get to work? All right, buddy. I'm here 6:30 to 8 a.m. I was a little late today, but 6:30 to 8 a.m. Pacific time. We talk a lot about cash flow. We're trying to get ourselves in physical and financial shape. So appreciate Michael the follow and love to have you, man. It's open Q&A, as you can see, Michael. So if you come back and we're talking about certain things, you feel free to obviously chime in. I love the interaction, so appreciate it, man. So a new subscriber today. Awesome stuff. Appreciate you, Michael. Awesome, dude. Have a good day at work and all that. We're going to try to get you out of work as quickly as possible. And we can do that with notes, guys, and that's what we're talking about today. So with note investing, we all have the ability to get financial freedom, and probably in the shortest amount of time I've ever seen with any other investments. I mean, except for if you hit it big in a meme coin and all this stuff, but I'm talking about a safe investment. I'm talking about safe investment, which is a get-rich guaranteed plan, not a get-rich quick scheme, a get-rich guaranteed plan. If we had a get-rich guaranteed plan, most people say a get-rich guaranteed plan takes 20 or 30 years in the marketplace if you're going to get rich guaranteed and methodically. All right, Andy, go make those calls. Get people on Desi's webinar, buddy. And I appreciate you too, Andy, of course. Andy works with us, so great guy to have on the team. So let's get right into it, guys. Let's go down. What do we talked about the 3 T's earlier, right? The toilets, the termites, this and that and the other. Yes, I have my webinar today. Bethany, I do have my webinar today. Yes, it's at 12 Pacific time. After our community meeting, guys, so our Note Investor University, right? Note Investor University, my partner and I are the coaches, and we have a bunch of people that are in there, and we teach you guys the paper side of real estate every Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time. So today, in a few hours, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time, we have our mastermind call, where we all just get on there and we talk about note investing and try to help people progress to financial freedom that are in my community. If you guys want to join that, you can join us on Thursdays. It's pretty cool. $97 a month, guys, by the way. If we talk about expensive coaching and people that have coaching PTSD and stuff like that, we charge $97 a month for people to join us every Thursday and have coaching from some really wise individuals. So I think it's a pretty good value. What do you think? I like doing that because it does hone in your brain for the right timing. So let's talk about the 3 Ps. So what do we do, guys, to get prepared for a note investment? We got the warm up and we got the education out of the way. Boring stuff, that's behind us. Now we get into the regular golf workout and really start activating these golf muscles. And what I did is I put my little golf workout on the laptop today, guys, so I can stay on track with what I'm doing. Cable rotations, golf swing pattern, 3 sets of 12. Golf swing cables, 3 sets of 12 is what we're gonna do now. But let's talk about that, guys. What are the 3 Ps that we do most of our due diligence on to get prepared to buy a note? Again, note investing is an industry that rewards preparation. Due diligence is half the battle. So, what are the 3 Ps in due diligence when we're talking about buying a note? The 3 Ps are the paper, the property, and the people. 3 things that we want to take a real good look at if we're going to be buying a mortgage note investment. And these are kind of at a high level the three main due diligence items that we're going to take a look at when it comes to buying a note. Make sure we're buying the right note. The 3 Ps. Oh yeah, mine first at noon, and then Desi's is at 4. Yeah, so man, you got 2 webinars on Thursdays that you help us with, don't you, Andy? So the 3 Ps, the paper, the property, and the people. We're talking about the paper and the property and the people. I'm gonna put this a bit lower. My mentor said to me once, if you're going to get into the paper business, and that's, when you become a note investor and we're buying the paper rather than the property, right? But he said, if you're going to get into the paper business, you better get good at reading the paper. Does it make sense? When you're in the paper business, you better get good at reading the paper. Well, guys, that's what we buy. So realize how goofy that may seem to some at first that get into the note investing business. It's got to seem really strange. I know it did to me at first, right? So imagine you wire, $75,000. You wire, and you're buying a $75,000 note. You wire the money, and 2 weeks later, you get a manila envelope in the mail in a FedEx package. And in this manila envelope is what you just paid $75,000 for. Okay? And that's got to be very odd to people that first get into the note business, right? You can go down, if you buy real estate, and you can stand there and kick it. It's real. You can walk up and kick the building, right? When you buy the real estate. When you're in the note investing space, you're buying the paper. So, you better get good at reading the paper. Does that make sense? The paper is what you're buying. So when we're talking about the paper and note investing, transfers the debt. When you assign the debt to a new owner. So when loans get transferred from bank to bank, there's an assignment. So you got to make sure all the assignments and allonges are in place. This is just documentation that transfers the ownership of a mortgage note from one to another. And you've got clear title. You've got to make sure that all the documents are accounted for. You got to make sure that all those papers are signed properly. They're dated in the right order as far as their notarizations and all sorts of different things, guys, that as far as investing in mortgage notes, as a note investor, we are buying the paper. We're not buying the property. So you better get really, really good at reading the paper. That's one of the main things that you're going to have to get good at if you're going to be a note investor. So a big, huge piece of the due diligence is reviewing what they call the collateral file. So the collateral file is the paperwork. And as a note investor, that's what you buy. You're going to wire money, and for your wired monies, someone is going to send you a folder with paperwork in it. That's what you bought, okay? So the paper. Now, since you're investing in that paper, paper, if you're investing in that paper, it would be pretty smart of us to get good at reading the paper. Yes or no? Okay. So talking about the 3 P's of note investing, we got the paper, we got the property, we got the people. So we talk about the paper. The paper is what you're actually investing in. We're not buying the property. So if you're buying the paper, literally wiring money to somebody, and they send you a packet of paperwork. So in the note investing world, that's what we buy. We don't buy the property, we buy the paper. So you better be damn good at reading the paper and understanding what should be in that paper, because it's usually about an inch thick of documentation, especially if a mortgage note has been traded several times and has been around the block a little bit. A lot of these mortgages get traded several times. I hear it from some homeowners that are like, yeah, I got like 7 or 8 transfer letters. So this just means the homeowner has had 7 or 8 different times their mortgage got traded from bank to bank to bank. It's almost like the homeowner gets in a position where they're like, who the hell do I send my mortgage payment to anymore, right? So some of these notes get traded a lot. Some very much, some only get traded like once or twice in their lifetime. I've seen notes that have, 11 different owners of that debt along its lifetime. So that whole big packet of paperwork is really what is one of the most important things, because that's what we're investing in, guys. We're investing in the paper, so you better be good at reading the paper, okay? Let's see here. Dumbbell, goblet, squats, 3 sets of 10. Okay, so the paper and then the property, okay? The property, as you guys know, in note investing, the property is our collateral, okay? So here you are, a note investor, and you've got to really understand, you have to really understand that we're buying the paper, and so you better be good at reading the paper. That's what you're spending your money on. So you wire money and they send you a packet of paperwork. Well, if you didn't review that paperwork well, you could be buying the wrong thing, right? So we review the paper and then the property. So the 3 P's, paper, property, people. First, the paper, because that's what we're buying. Then we have the property. Remember, as a note investor, the property is acting as our collateral. What is collateral? Collateral is something that you're able to legally repossess. So collateral is something you're legally able to repossess in the case of a bad financial loan, a loan gone bad, or, in the lending world. So you have uncollateralized lending, which is like credit cards, where if you don't pay it, they just send you to collections. We've got collateralized lending, where if you don't pay your car payment, they come repossess it out of your driveway. If you don't pay your house payment, they repossess your house and boot you out, right? So there's collateralized lending, and that's what we're in with note investing. Our notes are collateralized by the property. So that's the second P. What's up, NJ? Good to see you. So you've got the paper, the property, and the people. The 3 P's at a high level, those are the 3 P's, the 3 main things we're doing due diligence on when we're buying a note. So it is weird. It really is weird when you wire 75 grand out there as an investor. 2 weeks later, you get a packet of paperwork. That's what you invested in. So the paper is what we buy in the note investing space. We better get good at reading the paper. Then the second one is the property. Well, the property is acting as our collateral. So what do you think you may want to know about the property that's acting as your collateral? What items may you want to know about that property that's acting as your collateral? Number 1, we want to know the condition of the property as much as we can, right? Number 2, we want to know certainly the value of that property. How much is that property worth today? How much could it sell for today in its condition right now? We want to know if there's any other liens on that property from sewer department, taxes, city, you name it. There could be other liens or encumbrances on that property. We want to research that. The condition of the property, the location of the property, how much would the property sell for? Do the property need any repairs? Are there any liens and encumbrances on that property that may give me an issue? So there's a lot of different things that we want to look at with the actual property, because remember, let me ask you guys this. My gardeners just started outside that door. Is this microphone good enough at sound cancellation? Here, let me push one button here. There you go. All right, so hopefully you guys can hear my voice clear and you guys aren't being muffled out by my gardeners. They got the weed whacker and the blower going on right outside that door. But these have pretty good sound cancellation on them, so hopefully not too bad for you guys on your end. Sounds excellent. Awesome, Poncho. Not for me, right? For me, it's super loud, but these microphones are pretty cool. All right, so we got this property, right? The property acts as your collateral. That's your fail-safe, guys. So as a lender, you must think, well, I hope my collateral is worth more than what I have on the table, right? If something goes bad and I repossess collateral, you know, I don't want to invest $75,000 and then repossess collateral worth $40,000. That does you no good, right? So we want to make sure that the property is something that you would deem good collateral for your investment, okay? So the 3 Ps, the paper, the property, and the people, okay? So who's paying the monthly cash flow to you? When you buy a mortgage note, who's paying that monthly cash flow to you? People. So people are paying you, okay? So we look at the paperwork, because that's what we're buying. When you're a note investor, you're buying the paper. That's what you're investing in. So you literally wire money and they send you a folder of paperwork. That's what you spent $75,000 on, was a manila folder with paperwork. Then you've got the property, because the property acts as your collateral, okay? Property is your collateral. That's what you're going to take back in case of disaster, okay? Wow, that is so loud. I'm going to bust these guys up too. I think I'm going to get them out. They never do my backyard, my gardeners. Sorry if it's loud. I know the sound cancellation on these microphones is pretty good, but my backyard. Oh, it's a nice morning finally. When I got up, it was all dark out, but in my backyard, I have some stuff that I don't want to do. I can do it, but I don't want to do it. It's a pain in the ass, you know, like pulling lots of weeds and all that stuff. So I think I'm going to have my boys that come do my front yard do my backyard. I'm going to see if I can snack them before they leave. But anyways, so the people, the paper, the property. Okay, we did the people, or excuse me, the paper, the property, and the people. The paper is what we're buying in the note investing space. So you wire money off and someone sends you a packet of paperwork. You better have read all that paperwork and make sure that you're investing in the right paperwork, okay? Because that's what you bought, is that paperwork. And if the paperwork's wrong, you bought something wrong, okay? So the paperwork's very important. I don't want them to wake the baby. I know. They probably wouldn't do it today, Bethany. Don't worry. I'd probably have to tell them next Thursday when they come by, can they allot the extra time to do the backyard. So don't worry, we won't wake up the baby, okay? So got the paper. The paper is the most important thing because that's what we're investing in. We're literally not buying a property. We're buying a packet of paperwork. So we better understand that paperwork is solid, okay, before we buy it. The property, well, the property is acting as our collateral. So do we want to know about the condition of the property, where it's located, what kind of city, what kind of safety crime area? Do we want to know how desirable or non-desirable the community is? Do we want to know if there's any extra liens or encumbrances on the property? All of those good things go along with having a good idea of us judging whether or not that we deem that collateral to be worthy of our investment, okay? The people, who's paying you your cash flow every month? Who is paying the cash flow every month? It is the people, am I right? Let's see here. Yeah, the people. So what could we want to know maybe about the people? See, we're not originating a loan. Hi. Where are you going? School? All right. So originating a loan, say hi. Wifey is going to take the kids to school. NJ said hi, Beth. All right. So one-legged, what do they call these things, man? They call these things single leg Romanian deadlifts. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these things, but they look kind of cool. a single leg Romanian deadlift where you put dumbbells in your hands. I think I've got 20s. These are 20 pounds each. Have you guys ever seen these? One-legged. So first of all, balancing with the dumbbells and putting one leg out like this and putting the weights to the ground and coming back up. Have you guys ever seen those? It's called a one-legged Romanian deadlift. These things are pretty awesome. And the reason I like them for golf preparation is because they work out your glutes and your back hip area pretty good and your hamstrings. When you're playing in golf and you're doing a lot of these rotative moves and being explosive from the ground in golf, these help your stability, and stability and balance is key. Just like stability and balance in any investment portfolio, investment business is key. So who's paying your monthly cash flow in a mortgage note investment? It is the people that live there, right? What might we want to know about the people? What's your guess there? What might we want to know about the people? Let me get this way so I can see you guys. I'll tell you one thing I want to know. One thing I want to know is about their pay history. So one thing that happens with a serviced mortgage loan is that there's an accounted history of the payments. Now, let's say in mortgage loan origination, they do a lot of underwriting on us. With mortgage loan origination, they do a lot of underwriting on us, right? They're checking our credit score, debt to income ratio, level of income, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Everything in the whole wide world. They want to know what color underwear we're wearing when we go apply for a mortgage loan, right? So we're not originating a mortgage loan. We're buying an existing one. So one of the things I like to look at is the pay history. It is fair to say, or shall I ask you? I won't say, I'll ask you. Is it fair to say that some people aren't so good at paying their bills on time? Fair enough. But some of these people that aren't so good at paying their bills on time and so forth, that kind of have a poor credit score as far as FICO is concerned. But you could look at the pay history on their mortgage and see for the past 3 years in a row, they've made their mortgage payment on time every single month without missing a mortgage payment. What does that tell you about them? Does that give you some type of security that you believe, well, that is a good indication that I should expect they're going to continue paying their mortgage? So even if somebody's credit score is not the greatest, remember, I'm not originating a loan. And somebody may not pay their credit card bills on time, and somebody may not pay their car payment on time, and they catch it up the month after and have sporadic bill pay, which causes low credit score. But then you look at the pay history of their mortgage, and you think, well, these guys have paid their mortgage payment on time every single month for the last 3 years. So that's a pretty good metric for me, is looking at the borrower's pay history, right? You can look at their credit score too. If they have great credit, even better. But what I'm saying is the credit score, as far as FICO is concerned, when you're a secondary mortgage note buyer, may not be quite as important. Still important factor is a judge of character and how people pay bills, but not as important of origination. Yeah, and Pancho, most people don't want to lose their house. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Pancho, and you're right. Have they been paying on time? That's one of the main things, right? But there's several other things you can look at the borrower, right? The borrower's debt to income ratios, the underwriting that happened in the original origination of the loan. A lot of times the original underwriting docs, which show their level of income and the amount of money they had in their checking account and all that at the time it was originated. And it may be years ago when that happened. But the point of the matter is, yes, when we're talking about the paperwork, which is what we're buying, the property, which is acting as our collateral, and the people that are going to have that steady stream of cash flow coming in, the paper, the property, and the people are generally at a high level, right? There's a lot more to it. But at a high level, that's what we're really looking at and judging when we're getting involved into a note investment, okay? So reading the paper first and foremost, I'm about to wire somebody $75,000, and a week or two later, I'm going to get a manila folder in a FedEx envelope and open it up. It's going to be a half an inch or an inch thick of a bunch of paperwork. And that's literally, we wired off $75,000 and someone said, hey, thanks for the money. Here's what you bought. And they send you a packet of paperwork. Okay. Okay. So it is a little bit different. And it does feel strange, okay? The first time I wired money off and it took 2.5 weeks to get the paperwork, I was tripping. Is this paperwork ever going to come? Did I get scammed? You know what I mean? But it's the way the business works. And yeah, Pancho, people don't necessarily want to lose their house, right? People will flip a middle finger up to Visa card and say, I ain't never paying you. Go ahead and send me to collections, whatever you want to do. But certainly people need a roof over their head. And so people usually tend to pay their mortgage payments, okay? So what do you guys think about this? I'm curious, right? I'm curious. Do you think that anybody with the right mind and the right motivation could get into note investing if they had the right coach, if they had the right people around them, if they were willing to spend time in the very beginning doing the unsexy and boring part, which is basically a warm-up? If somebody's willing to go through the warm-up, stretch their mind out properly, get a good coach, get around other successful people in the space, learn new things, step outside their comfort zone. Does it make sense that anybody, no matter who you are, anybody could set themselves financially free using mortgage notes as the vehicle to do so if they just took the time to do this properly? Get the foundation out of the way. Understand the basics. Get a coach to make sure that you're not doing the basics half-assed, backwards, and crooked. Make sure you're going right down the straight path to financial freedom. There's somebody there that can see you and see what you're doing and help to motivate you, right? In the golf world, it's technique. You know, you're not quite on plane. Your hand's out here. It needs to be in here and that kind of thing, where it feels like we're doing it right. In our minds, it looks, from our point of view and from what we feel, it looks like we're doing it right. Feels right. But you have a coach saying, that's not right. And you say, well, it feels right. Well, it ain't though. I can see it. So you got to put it in here. Well, that feels awkward. Yeah, but it's going to feel awkward for a while because I'm putting you in the right spot and you're used to being in the wrong spot. You see what I'm saying? This is how a coach really can help mold or change your life. They can see that you've been in the wrong place. They can see that you're doing the wrong thing, but it feels right to you, but they're there to smack you a little bit and go, no, do it like that. Trust me, you'll get better results. So yes, Tiger Woods, the best of the best, had 4 separate golf coaches. That means he wasn't happy with some of them at some time. And if you've been unhappy with a past coaching program or unhappy with the lack of success in something you did back in the past, don't let it hinder you from understanding that mortgage notes are one of the safest and best investment vehicles that's ever been invented, in my opinion. I've been around this stuff for 25 years, guys. And when I learned about notes, I thought they're too good to be true at first. That's how good they are. I thought this is too good to be true. Some people have that when they first hear about notes. They go, wait a minute, too good to be true. It's all good. That's what I felt in the very beginning. It's too good to be true. Because in a lot of ways, banks make rules that benefit themselves. Banks don't generally make rules to help out the borrowers. Banks don't make rules to help out borrowers. Banks make rules to help out themselves. And when we get into the mortgage note investing business, okay, we get to play under the rules of the bank. I didn't make the rules. They did. When you get to play under the bank's rules, there is some advantage to it for certain. These are called kettlebell swings. Of course, activating timing, hips, glutes, legs, and that explosive nature from the ground to the upper body connection. And these are hefty because I believe that this is a 44-pound kettlebell. It weighs 44 pounds. It's a little beast. But yeah, guys, you got to get in the right mindset first. Get the right people around you, get the right mentor, start to learn things you didn't know before, start to step outside your comfort zone. Have somebody say, no, you know what? Your hand is supposed to be right here in your golf swing, but you're like this. See, well, coach, I feel like I'm right here. I feel like I'm right here. No, look, I'm going to show you a picture of yourself. And they put you in this position when you're supposed to be here and your arm's like this. But it feels like it's like this. But no, you have to have that coach. So get a mentor, get coaching, get the basics down, get the warm up out of the way, get to where you feel comfortable. You're loosened up. You know what the hell you're doing. You're activated, right? A little correlation to the golf workout today. But that's what you gotta do first. Then get into it. Start playing the game. Let's go. What's wrong? Let's play in your first tournament. But when we're there, golfers also have caddies. You guys know the job of a caddy is not just to carry the clubs for them, But the caddy is also a very experienced golfer, knows the greens, knows the course, knows the layout, is able to help judge the wind, the lie, the distance, the golfer's emotions at the time. And the caddy is helping walk the pro through the golf course. The caddy is there to help make sure the pro doesn't make stupid mistakes. Make sure the pro doesn't pull out the wrong club on accident, that they have the right club in hand. Make sure that they know that the wind is coming out of the right and that it's going to, blow the ball that way. The caddy is make sure before the pro hits the shot and actually takes the risk that the caddy is there. Not only did they have a golf coach, but then they have a caddy that's like literally walking them through the course and showing them how to play it and telling them not to do certain things, right? That is a mentor. So coaching is one thing, but a mentor is there like a golf caddy to walk you through and to make sure before you take the risk and before you whack the ball, make sure you know what to plan for and how to do it right before you make the move on the ball, right? Before you make the move. No, it's good stuff, right? Yeah, and thank Pancho. But that's the reality of it, right? And then it's okay, guys. Would you think that you got the coaching, you've been through the training, got the warm-ups out of the way, you now have a caddy, so to speak, or a mentor. The mentor's on your side to say, no, let's go play a golf round now. I think you've got it. Let's go play a golf round now. But along this whole entire golf round, every single shot you hit, I'm going to help you understand the lie, the wind, the club you're picking, the distance, whether to hit the ball high or low or how. I'm going to show you everything there is, and we're going to calculate it first. Then you make the swing, and we'll have the best results, right? That's a mentor who's there to help you through your note purchases or your first deals and those kinds of things, right? It's different. That's like a golf caddy, okay? So if we get into this, guys, the right way, and we're not so egotistical that we're better than Tiger Woods that always had a coach, okay? Then I say, get a coach. Get that out of the way. We teach it at Note Investor University. So if somebody wanted me to be their coach, I would be. But I also have my partner who's 72 years old who taught me everything I know about the note business, and he's also a coach. So you get two coaches for the price of one. And we have our Thursday mastermind call coming up here soon, which is 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time on Thursdays. And it's the Note Investor University mastermind call, and we only charge $97 a month to get with us once a week, okay? That's not our full coaching program, of course, but if people just want to join us weekly and start getting the warm-up out of the way, start getting some coaching and learning this, $97 a month ain't bad, right? Because due diligence is half the battle in this game, just like preparation in golf. Did you know that before a golfer performs a golf swing, they got to have some things in place first? Before a golfer performs a golf swing, they got to have the right posture, the right grip, the right club in their hand, the right aim, the right mindset. All that's in place. They then pull the trigger. Same with note investing, guys. You got the paper, the people, the property. You got to make sure that all that's in place before you go ahead and take a swing. Okay? So that's why I did a little analogy this way. I'm glad that you like it, Pancho. Hey, Pancho, do you play golf? If you say yes, then I know why you like my analogy. Let's see. Dumbbell push press, upper body stability. All right, so we'll do some single arm dumbbell rows. So yeah, a little interesting, obviously, to do some golfing analogies. But you get it. You get it. Very little, but yeah, so you know what I'm saying. Golf ain't easy, neither is becoming a note investor, neither is achieving financial freedom. Of course, if this stuff was easy, we'd all be professional golfers on tour, traveling the world, having a great old time in our private jets, playing golf, drinking champagne. That ain't golf. We know that. Very difficult. Note investing also could be very difficult, right? But I believe that note investing is available for all of us. We don't have to be a super athlete. It's very different than golf as far as it's a mathematical game, guys. We're in the banker's business. My partner used to tell me this. My partner used to say, there's a lot of money in the real estate business because he was a real estate investor for 30 years. Okay. Rental properties, owned a Century 21 firm, the whole 9 yards. Very experienced gentleman, my partner. And he used to say, yeah, there's a hell of a lot of money to be made in the real estate business. But you know where the money's at? I'd say where? He'd say the money is in the money business. There's a lot of money to be made in the real estate business. Oh, 40 plus years. I'm sorry, Beth. No, I'm gonna age Desi there. But there's a lot of money to be made in the real estate business, but the money's in the money business. And boy, does he have a very valid point there with that the money really is in the money business. And once you get yourself into the money business, your options really open up. You know, being a house flipper is sort of a one-trick pony. Being in syndication and buying dilapidated apartment buildings, you're kind of in that one lane, right? Landlording, right? Where you're just stacking rental properties and dealing with tenants. It's kind of like a one-trick pony kind of an angle of attack, right? When you get into the money business, guys, where the money really is, your options really open wide, right? So we went from starting to buy notes. My partner in like 2012, 2013 got into it. My partner, my mentor, taught me about it in like the middle of 2018. And I bought my first note in 2019, right? But since then, you'd be amazed at the opportunities that have presented themselves to us simply by just being in the money business. Raising capital, dealing with investors, talking about security, collateral, cash flow, learning how to raise capital. And now, like if you would have talked to me 4 years ago, if 4 years ago you would have said that my family and I would be building apartments from the ground up in Florida when I'm out here living in San Diego, California, and you would have said we'd be building apartments out in Florida right now, a 32 unit and a 48 unit building and all this stuff. It's an awesome experience. I only got these opportunities presented to me, I should say our team got these opportunities presented to us because we were in the money business. And that's where the money's at. So if you have the ability to get yourself into the money business, you have the ability to scale any venture that is your best flavor. So if you do want to get into the multifamily, if you do want to get into stacking rentals, if you do want to get into note investing, all of these things are great. But most of us don't have enough of our own money to really scale it. I always tell folks that come into my program, that if they have about $2 million, then they're set. I can show somebody how to utilize $2 million to be financially free for the rest of their lives, even if they're like 40 years old right now. But somebody's got 2 million, we can go and use that money and create financial freedom with it. If we don't have that much money, then if we want real financial freedom and we want to scale and become big in real estate and get out of our 9 to 5 and, you know, retire early and have a great life and all that stuff, you're gonna have to learn the skill of raising other people's money. Period, end of story. What do you think happens when companies go public? Why would a company go from being a privately owned company to trying to go public on the stock exchange? What's the point? Just to say, ooh, look, we're a public company now? What's the point? Why does a company go public on the stock exchange, you guys? Is it to raise money from other people? So we've got banks, we've got lending institutions, we've got IRA holders, we've got private lenders, we've got hard money lenders, we've got you name it. But the use of other people's money besides your own is generally going to be the make or break of how you scale and how fast you become financially free. So my partner was sort of correct, wasn't he? He said, yeah, there's a lot of money to be made in real estate. He said, but the real money's in the money business. And when you get to being a note investor, you know that you are now in the money business. Yes, real estate is our collateral, which is awesome because we understand there's a lot of money to be made in real estate. So having the real estate as your collateral makes it one of the greatest investments because let me ask you guys this. We'll spin this off as I just finish this up here real quick, but let me ask you guys this. If I repossess a house, if I'm a note investor, and we don't even have to go through a foreclosure half the time, guys, but if I'm a note investor and I end up owning the real estate, you guys come up with a couple things in here of what we could do with that real estate. So if I'm a note investor and I bought a mortgage note and they were paying and everything was good, all of a sudden something happened and they had to go, and I repossessed the house. Now I own the real estate outright. Remember, I was the debt. So if I repossess the collateral, I own that place outright, right? The physical real estate, the single family home. What if I end up owning a single family home? Excuse me. If I end up owning a single family home coming through the back door, and I mean through the back door, I mean because I bought a mortgage note. Usually I'm buying mortgage notes for far less than the retail value of the property acting as my collateral. So I'm in for less. I came through the back door, I bought the mortgage note, but I ended up owning the real estate. What can we do with a piece of real estate to turn it into a money maker? Tell me what you think. So if I repossess a piece of real estate called an REO, real estate owned, and an REO happens to be when a borrower loses the rights to the property and the lender takes it back, it now becomes an REO, real estate owned. What can I do it? I can sell it. Yes, that's right, Susan, and welcome. I love to have a little bit of female energy on here. I know maybe my wife is still on, Bethany, but thank you, Susan. Yes, you could sell the place. So if I bought a mortgage note and I ended up repossessing the property, I could simply just get my money out of it. I could list the property for sale if I did my due diligence properly, if my warm-up was in place, if I had a mentor looking over my shoulder, if I knew how to do the due diligence properly. I wouldn't have bought the note in the first place if I didn't think that the collateral was worthy. So if I bought properly, then the collateral is worthy. It means the collateral is worth a lot more than what I've invested, okay? So if I somehow end up with the property, Susan's right. There's a lot of things I can do with that property, and one of those things is sell it, okay? So let me give you an example. If a house is worth $150,000, the people living there owe $90,000, and I bought that $90,000 worth of debt for $75,000. I'm into the deal for $75,000, and all the while there's a $200,000 house acting as my collateral. So if you were in that case and you repossessed, oops, my bench got on my tripod here. If you were to repossess that collateral and you were into the investment for $75,000, I know, NJ. I didn't know if you're still on here, NJ. I know sometimes you got to run to work, but yeah, this is great. We got female energy. Susan, NJ, this is great. So it just makes sense, guys, right? If you bought right, then if on the unfortunate circumstance you have to repossess the collateral, Susan's right. Could I just put the house up for sale? I'm in it for $75,000. They said when I bought the note, it was worth $200,000, the house. What if even the house dropped in value? Now the house is only worth $170,000, man. It needs some repairs. The people on their way out, kicked holes in the drywall, whatever, right? So the point of the matter is, guys, I'm into the investment for $75,000, and I have a $200,000 house acting as my collateral. So, are you out of here already? Oh, NJ, you always have to leave. Bummer. All right, then. Well, it's all good. I'm about to end this here pretty soon anyways. I got a pretty busy day today. I got to host my webinar. So, guys, I do have a free webinar coming up in just a little bit. So my webinar I do on Thursdays at 12 noon Pacific time. And I'm going to do a webinar just about all this today where I show a bunch of case studies and I teach people how this note investing stuff actually works. The mastermind call is at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Pacific time, we have the Note Investor University mastermind call. You guys are welcome to join me and my partner on those calls on Thursdays. We charge $97 a month for meeting every single week for an hour, hour and a half with us talking about the money business, right? So love to have you as a part of that community. And I'm doing my webinar today at 12 noon Pacific time. If you guys want to know about note investing at a higher level or at a more detailed level. And back to this. We could sell the house, right, Susan? Yes, we can. But, when we sell that house, that asset now leaves our control. That asset now leaves for good our portfolio. And what happens, and I'm not saying I'm against it because we do just sell a lot of these right away. We sell, get out, and use them. Problem is now you have an issue. You're getting all your capital back plus profit. It's great. But now you have to go out and you have to find a new asset. You have to do more due diligence and you have to put that money back to work, right? So there are a couple other options. If selling the house right away makes all the sense in the world, that's what we do. We just sell, we get our cash, we bounce, we get out, and we invest in another note, right? Redeploy the capital. So that is not a bad thing, okay? But what else could we do with the physical real estate when we repossess it? Oh, man. It's getting hotter than schmithereens. It's gonna be, oh yeah, it's gonna be like 90 some odd degrees in San Diego today. I'm gonna open this door, get some wind in here. I'm dying. It's getting hot. So what do? Hot. What else can we do with the property? What else can we do with the property besides sell it? Hi, babe. Here's one that's cool. So we won't go over all of them, but like, could I turn it into a rental property, guys? If you own the house outright, could you turn it into a rental property? Could I throw a tenant in there? Maybe the market's not quite right. Maybe the market dropped and the real estate value's down when I finally repossess the real estate. And if I sell it, I'm not really making a huge win, but I own the property outright. There's no debt on it. So could I turn it into a rental? And generally, the amount of monthly rental payment that place can generate is usually more monthly cash flow than what the mortgage note was spitting off. Usually, the rent is more. And of course, hi, honey. So I could rent it out, right? So now, of course, I'm into the terrible T's and the landlording headaches, of course. And so if you don't want the landlording headaches, what else can we do? So yes, I can sell the property. I can cash it out. I can take my money with my winnings because it was great, right? A great deal. I can take that money and I can go now find another asset, do the due diligence and redeploy the capital. But then that means the one asset we already had under our control in our portfolio leaves and we have to go try to add a new one, right? Sell, which we do oftentimes if it makes sense. But we could also turn it into a rental property and just start it cash flowing again right away. But now we have the landlord headaches. So what else can we do? If you were me, WWPD, what would Patrick do? If you were me and you're in the money, don't necessarily want to be much in the real estate business unless now I'm doing multifamily, but don't want to own a bunch of single family homes as rentals. Don't want to have a bunch of tenants. So what could I do? Instead of selling the property, cashing out and redeploying capital, instead of turning the physical real estate into a rental and cash flowing it right away, but having the landlord responsibilities and duties now, what would I do instead? Remember, we're in the money business. So what I would like to do, guys, is I would like to list the property for sale and let the buyers know that I am willing to carry back the paper. I'm going to seller finance the home. So what I can do is I can take that house and I can put it up on the market and I can sell it to a homeowner, not put a renter in there. I can sell it to a homeowner. I can have them give a nice 5, 10, 20% cash deposit, whatever they can come up with. I get the cash deposit and then I finance the rest. Carry back the paper. It's called seller financing, creative financing, right, guys? So I sell the property to a new homeowner, I collect the deposit, and then however much the finance loan is, I do a brand new, fresh, amortized 30-year loan for them. If they qualify by doing underwriting, right? We get them Dodd-Frank compliant, we underwrite the borrower like a bank would do, and we create a conforming loan, and we take a deposit, we put homeowner in there, I create the paper, carry back the financing, and I end up in the same spot where I was in before I had to repossess that collateral. So now I've got another new homeowner living there. They have fresh skin in the game. They just gave a big fat cash deposit. They actually underwritten to be qualified for the loan. And now they're in there as a homeowner. I still have that property in my portfolio. I didn't get rid of it. Yes, seller finance, Pancho. That's right. Because I end up in the same spot. Remember, I want to be in the money business and I want to own nothing but control everything. So if we would have sold that, it's gone out of our portfolio. We lose control of an asset that we actually spent a lot of time on, right? To go through a foreclosure or whatever you got to do. You spent time, you spent money, you spent energy. It wasn't cash flowing during that time. So how do I turn this into a win, right? I could sell it, cash it out, but now I got to go look to deploy my money in another asset. I could rent it out because it's no problem. If the market is in a certain way in a town, renting it out might be a thing. Now, that's okay, and I might have to deal with some landlord headaches, but I have a rental right now in Indiana that I got just this way, and it turned into a rental property instead. So that's okay, but you didn't get rid of the asset. It's still under your control in your portfolio, but I like to seller finance it. Because remember, when you're a note investor, you're in the money business. That's where the money's at. I don't want the hassles. I want to be passive. I want to play golf. I want to be able to come here on live on YouTube and not be in a rush in the morning to do this and that and the other. We want to have financial freedom. When we talk about financial freedom, you guys, when people talk about financial freedom, they're not talking about the financial part. They're talking about the freedom part. Does it make sense? Financial freedom doesn't have much to do with the financial part. It has to do with the freedom part. No one wants to have millions of dollars so that they can have it right here. I've said this before. See this big blank spot in my garage gym right here on the floor? No one wants to have a pallet sitting there with $2 million cash on it so they can come out in the garage and go, look at that, all my money. Yeah. That makes zero sense, right, guys? So it's not about the money, it's about the freedom that the money attains you. So in my business, being in the money business, I don't want the hassle and legal ownership and liability of owning another rental property and dealing with tenants and chasing rents and all the bullshit. Don't want to deal with that. If I repossess the collateral and then I sell it, that could be a really good win. I could make a lot of profit in that, but now it gives me that asset that leaves my control of my portfolio. Now I have to take my cash I got back and I have to go out there in the marketplace and do a full new due diligence process and find a whole new asset and redeploy the capital, okay? Or we can just sell or finance it. Find a new homeowner, collect a nice cash deposit, carry back the paper, stick them in there, and now we're in the same spot. We still control that asset. That asset is acting as our collateral. We have a brand new, freshly underwritten borrower that has a deposit put in, so they got skin in the game. And all of a sudden, boom, you are now back to a cash flowing position without the headaches of being a landlord. So I got started a little late. We ran a little late. It's all good, but I hope this guy's helped give you guys an idea of, in preparation to play in a golf tournament. We have to do different things, right? I can't be lifting heavy. I'm not doing bench presses and going nuts, doing heavy squats or anything like that. I play Saturday and Sunday, 2-day tournament, and I've got to be fresh and ready to do good in that tournament. So we changed things up, and today I did stretching and core and explosiveness and timing and those kinds of things where I hardly broke a sweat. I'm not going to be sore, and I'm going to do a similar workout tomorrow. So the reason, and thank you, Susan, thank you for coming. The reason why anybody would want to join me on these lives where I come Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 8 a.m. Pacific time. And the reason I'm doing this, guys, you guys know who have seen me before, if Susan and people are new, it is simply because I'm trying to motivate people to be in their best physical shape they can possibly be in, no matter where they're starting, what their health is, or what their age is. We all have the ability to do some reversals with our health, our strength, our energy levels, and I want to motivate people to get in the best physical shape they can possibly be in. And the other is that I want to motivate people to be in the best financial shape they can be in. I believe all of us deserve financial freedom. All of us deserve to do things that really are important in our life, which are spending time with our family, doing things we love, making memories. It's not designed, guys. We should not be working 40 or 50 hours a week and not seeing our own kids and grandkids. It's ridiculous. So I promote physical fitness and financial fitness. I talk passive cash flow, and I just want to motivate people to get in the best physical shape, best financial shape we can possibly be in, and we can help each other do it. You guys become my motivation to where you guys make sure I get out of bed because you guys are counting on me to be here. So my motivation to stay consistent. If you guys join me, I'm going to try to help motivate you to stay consistent. We're going to build physical, financial freedom together. Patrick Franz, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm out.